Right, good morning. As promised, I'm going to give you a very short video on the rods that I use for quiver tip fishing for chub. There's two. There's one that is more powerful than the other, hence the workhorse rod, and then there's my finesse rod. The two of them are the Drennan medium feeder combo, which is a discontinued bit of kit. I'll chat to you why I use that really quickly and what it comes with, and also I use the Cadence 1 pound test curve specimen rod in 12 foot. Fortunately, that one isn't discontinued, so I'll put a link to that down below. I'll also put a link to the medium feeder off the old Drennan page, because you can still find it on there, and then hopefully you might be able to find something that fits the bill. Right, to the review bit. First things first, this is the Drennan 11'6" to 12'6" medium feeder combo. It is, as it says, 11.5 foot. But it also has this funky little attachment that takes it up to 12.5 foot. The reason why I like it, it comes with, he says, try not to break everything, 4 quiver tips. So in there I've got a 2 ounce glass, which is my usual go-to. It also has an 1.5 ounce glass, a 2.5 ounce carbon and a 3 ounce carbon, which are really, these 2 carbon ones are really useful for fishing across the far side on the feeder. If you're looking for drop back bites. Other than that, they don't come out the bag. Yeah, so 2 ounce glass quiver tip. Pros for it are that and a nice soft action. It's 11'6", which means I can get it into little nooks and crannies on small rivers. You can see there that I've painted the tip white with Tipex, hence it all flakes off. But the downside is also the plus side. So the soft quiver tip has these little fine guides on them, as most match rods, most match type feeder rods do. They help the action of the quiver tip, but reduce your casting distance if you're trying to go with an AAA or a swan shot. The reason why I don't use this rod all the time is because it's quite soft. It is rated up to about 2 ounces to cast, 50 grams, and I fished 50 gram feeders with it on the Trent before as well. To great success. I caught barbel on these rods, and they're a good bit of kit, especially when you put the extra bit in, which replaces, hang on, let's do this quickly. Take the butt out, tell that hasn't come off for a while. Take the 1 foot section off, stick the 2 foot section in, stick that back in the butt, and I now have a 12.5 foot feeder rod, which is quite useful. But I don't carry that on the bank with me, I just carry it around at 11.5. I'm waffling really about it. Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. But like I say, it's discontinued. You'll find them on eBay. I picked one up for about 120 quid, which was in very, very good condition. If you see them, tell me and I'll buy them. You don't need them, I do. But yeah, I've got 2 of these at the moment. And yeah, they're great bits of kit. But they are lacking in the power department. You'll see on a few of my videos that when I'm playing a chub, it's bent all the way down, and I have lost a few fish on these in the past due to them going into snags and me just not having enough oomph to pull them out, which is where the other rod comes into play. Right, so this is my workhorse rod. This is the absolute beast. It's the 12 foot 1 pound test curve Cadence specimen rod. It comes as standard with cork and 2 whole top sections. So it's a proper Avon rod. One with a quiver tip section, and then you've got a hollow top. The hollow top I've used for tench fishing, bream fishing, perch fishing, all sorts. It's a really good bit of kit. It will cast a 30 to 40 gram lead, so about 1.5 ounces in total. Quite a long way, but yeah, it's a really, really good rod for that sort of stuff. And then the carrier section. Now then, I have a couple of gripes on this. The first one being that sometimes the quiver tips don't fit exactly right, and there's a little tiny bit of a wobble in them, which I can forgive because I've always used to that, and then a little bit of wax on there usually squares it away. Yeah, the rods themselves, they come with 2 quiver tips. So on the 1 pound test curve, it's a 2 ounce and a 3 ounce tip, which are both fitted with these lovely big Fuji SIC guides, K guides, which allow you to cast a long way with a single swan shot. So that's the plus side for them. Again, putting the 3 ounce tip in, they'd be quite good fishing on the Stour with the maggot feeder, for instance. but I think the £1.50 that I've also got would probably be better, but that's me just waffling. But yeah, so these Fuji K guides are brilliant because they allow you to cast a long way with light weights, or further with light weights easier. But the downside is that the quiver tips are all carbon. So this is a 2-ounce carbon tip and it's quite stiff. So you will find when it's low flow and the fish are being finicky in the winter, if they've been absolutely hammered, you'll get lots of little tiny touches and taps and it's very hard to hit them, which is where the Drennan comes into play, because it's softer quiver tips and it gives you that little bit more for the fish to hang on to. I'm not saying that these are a bad rod, these are absolutely brilliant on the Avon, especially in amongst all the weed, and because of the 12-foot length, it helps you get the line up out of trouble, and the action itself is a lot more tippy. It's a progressive rod, but as I do that, it's a lot more in the tip and there's a lot more power in the middle and butt section of the rod. So when you're trying to extract fish out of weed and snags and horrible stuff, this is definitely the bit of kit. £8 line on it as usual. And the other gripe with it is it's a screw up reel seat, whereas on the Drennan it's a screw down, which means that sometimes it's a little less comfortable, especially when it's cold. But I mean, it's not that bad, fits in the hand nicely enough, it's easy to cast. I use little tiny 3,000 to 4,000 size reels, that's a 3012 TDR, old school. And yeah, handles are a nice length, although it's looking a bit tired. And like I say, Fuji K guides goes out a long way and it's got plenty of grunt. And that's my workhorse rod. And that's it, I seem to be waffling quite a lot. Right, so there we go. That's my little review of the two main rods that I use for quiver tip fishing for chub. So I've got the Drennan and the Cadence. The Drennan's the more finesse one. The Cadence is when I'm dragging them out of weed or there's higher flows, i.e. on the Avon. And yeah, that's it really. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this, and also drop us a comment. Let me know what you're using. And if there's anything else better out there. But for now, that's me. I'm back out on the bank. So you'll have to wait for edition number 9 of Avoiding the Blank 25, where I've been out putting these to good use. So until then, ciao for now.